Welcome to Community Health Briefs, where AI hosts share short, clear stories about research shaping healthier futures. Each episode highlights new work from members of the College for Community Health at Montclair State University, showing how ideas connect to the social and structural forces behind health. In short, this is research you can trust, explained by AI in minutes.
Today we're tackling something that I think a lot of us have been thinking about, especially in recent years.
For sure. The mental health of young people, particularly during that huge upheaval of the COVID-19 pandemic.
Exactly. I mean, we saw adolescent depression and anxiety rates basically double across the globe. So the question is, what helped? What was the shield? And maybe more surprisingly, what made things worse?
That is the core mission of this deep dive. We're looking at a really important study from a team at Montclair State University.
Right. This was led by Drs. Jennifer Urban and Miriam Linver, along with a whole team, Drs. Lauren Alves, Elise Postlethwaite, and others.
And they wanted to untangle this idea of purpose. Did having a sense of purpose help young people? And if it did, how exactly did that work?
Okay, so let's unpack that term purpose.
Yeah.
Because it's not just some fuzzy feel-good idea here.
Not at all. The researchers defined it very clearly. It's an intention to do something that is meaningful to you personally, but also has a consequence for the world beyond yourself.
And they broke it down into 3 different dimensions, which is key.
It's everything. First, goal orientation. Do you have long-term goals? Second, personal meaningfulness. Do you know what gives your life meaning?
And the third one?
Beyond the self-orientation, or BTS. That's that strong desire to contribute to the world to make things better.
So they took data from nearly 5,000 young people looking at their purpose scores before the pandemic hit, and then compare that to their anxiety levels right as everything was locking down in early 2020.
Yes, and what they found first was a massive paradox.
Let's hear it. What was the protective factor?
Personal meaningfulness. The youth who scored higher on understanding their own personal meaning before the crisis, they were better off.
So they had lower levels of anxiety and depression.
Exactly. It was like a psychological shield. Being grounded in your own life really, really helped.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. But you said there was a paradox. So here comes the twist.
Here's the twist. That desire to help the world, that beyond the self orientation.
The one you would think is the most admirable, the most helpful trait.
That's the one. Contrary to what everyone expected, a stronger BTS orientation before the crisis was linked to higher levels of anxiety and depression when the pandemic began.
Wow. So trying to save the world made you feel worse?
In that specific context, yes. It suggests that a global crisis just completely changed the rules.
So the numbers tell you what happened, but they don't tell you why. For that, you had to actually talk to the kids, right?
That's it. The qualitative interviews are where the answers came from, and you could see 2 very, very different coping patterns emerge.
Tell me about the group that was doing well, the ones with high meaning but low symptoms.
They showed this incredible agency. They were problem-focused. So one youth they call Mo, he talked about taking action right in front of him.
Like what?
Serving others in his community, helping out more at home, making sure he was social distancing. He focused on what he could control.
He brought the problem down to a manageable size for himself. So what about the other group, the high BTS kids who were struggling?
They were looking at a global health crisis, a problem that was it was too vast.
It's overwhelming.
Totally. They talked to another youth, Max, who just felt this intense concern and helplessness. He wanted the world to work together, but he couldn't do anything about it from his room.
So that desire to help, without an outlet, it just turned into anxiety.
It turned into rumination. It became this heavy, uncontrollable burden.
This has such critical implications for every parent, teacher, and youth leader out there.
It's huge. Because it means we have to recognize that some of the most purposeful youth, the ones most concerned about the world, they're often internalizers.
Meaning they suffer quietly?
Exactly. They aren't disruptive, so their struggles can go completely unnoticed. We, as the caring adults, need to proactively find these kids and support them, especially when they feel powerless.
So the central insight from this deep dive, really, is that purpose is nuanced. It's not one size fits all.
Right. Personal meaningfulness was that crucial shield. But a strong beyond-the-self focus, without a real way to act, became a risk factor.
Which leaves us with a really important final thought for you, the listener. If this loss of control made BTS a risk during a pandemic, how might we structure opportunities for contribution around other huge ongoing issues?
Things like climate change, for example.
Right. How do we help young people engage with these massive problems in a way that provides them with genuine agency instead of just the crushing weight of helplessness? Something to think about.
Thanks for listening to Community Health Briefs. This podcast was created with the help of AI, verified by the paper's author, and does not necessarily reflect the views of the College for Community Health or Montclair State University. Thanks again for listening, and stay tuned for our next episode. Make sure to subscribe and check us out at www.montclair.edu/CCHL to learn more about us and the amazing work we're doing for community health.